All right.
I don't have an intro, so somebody else needs to.
Open. I thought we just bullshit until someone says something stupid, and then that's our lead.
Someone always says something stupid. It doesn't take long. That's
my
everything
point.
that we do on the podcast is someone saying something stupid, and then we shit it out into the fucking podcast sphere.
Yeah.
Well, here's this. Enjoy, I guess.
The entire podcast is just verbal vomit that occasionally, in some way, resembles something like a coherent sentence.
We get occasional moments of clarity.
Hey, do you want to listen to one guy who can't let go of the pod race and two guys who can't let go of 90s Star Wars books?
All right. Listen.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars every week forever. We are starting our third rotation in
Josh
the year
count.
in the year 2021.
Excuse me?
Oh my God, this is the new year. Hello from the future.
This is the first.
Past?
Yeah, this is the first episode of 2021.
Stop. I'm gonna fucking.
So you seemingly have uncovered this from a hard drive in the burnt out husk of a building or something. Hello, future traveler.
I hate to say it, but I don't think we got a bunker in time to continue the episodes into the fallout. But Ben, how was your watch?
It was good. There was a pod race. Duel of the Fates happened. That's all this movie is now.
That's also what you say every time we watch this movie.
I know, and I'm going to continue to say it every time we watch this movie.
Chris, how was your watch?
I have watched this movie thrice in this fucking cycle now, and I'm having a harder and harder time finding anything redeemable about
it. Yeah. So, one problem with a Forever podcast that you do every single week is that Star Wars does not care about what's going on in your life. Star Wars is eternal, you know.
Star Wars is our life.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry I interjected there.
No, it's okay. I lost my mom this week. Strangely, only a couple days after the last recording where we talked about her on the podcast. So, I watched it the day before, so the watch was fine. The week's been really bad. But I will say, there will be times, based on this experience, where I imagine one of us will not be here for the recording, because life happens. So, I figure what we'll end up doing is, they still watch the episode on their own time, and then when we record, they'll prepare a sentence or two on how the watch was, and then we'll go from there. But
sweet. So if something happens, I could still get my sentence about pod racing in.
You are such a bastard.
You're a real son of a bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a bad week, but Phantom Menace was fine, I guess.
Chris and I weren't sure exactly what the plan was this week until Josh was like, "Hey, when are we recording?" We were like, "We were gonna wait on you to let us know." Honestly,
well, there was almost and I don't know what it would be. There was almost a version of this week's episode where Ben and I ring in the new year, where Ben talks about pod racing and I get drunk and I have no one to argue
cries in a corner.
Yeah.
No, this happened at the beginning of the week, so I knew I'd be okay at the end, but if it had happened, I would not be here, and I would have left a sentence that was just some bullshit. I think I probably would have talked about how bad the CGI is holding up for me. But no, I'm here. Maybe not as talkative as usual, but I'm here. The CGI, it's never struck me how fucking bad the CGI is as much as this week.
I have a counterpoint to this.
I'm sorry, and I know to a degree it's not funny, but I love that pivot so much. That might be my favorite pivot you've done, and it might have been accidental. I'm maybe not as talkative this week. This fucking CGI.
I have a counterpoint to this.
What?
The battle droids hold up.
The battle droids do hold up. Yeah, I agree with that.
Shockingly.
I was very surprised when I was looking at them on my TV, and I was like, damn, they look decent. Why?
It's weird.
I think it's because you don't have to worry about like as many textures with them or like facial animation.
Yeah, they're just
the first
or Looney Tunes ass dives into lakes.
The first shot you get of Jar Jar is when I realized there's this problem in this movie that a lot of the time when some of these fully animated characters are moving around very quickly, it's almost like if you're doing like a Zoom call or a Skype call, whatever, and someone has on the green screen background, but they don't have green screen behind them. So you can see all of the fucking distortions around them. It's not in like the mid shots or the close-ups. It's in a lot of the the wide shots. I never realized how bad it was. It's in some of them. It's not in all of them, but it's in the majority of them. Also, I don't know. Jar Jar's like skin texture is like so much worse. Like, it looks like if you turn the graphics on a character on an MMO down all the way, it does not hold up. Another really bad example is Sebulba attacking Jar Jar. Like, that jump looks so bad. Like, it's not seamless at all. I think that also might be why the Yoda insert that replaced the puppet is so bad. Not only is it an insert that in no way, like, we'll talk a little bit about this next week, where the entire Attack of the Clones movie has a depth perception issue with the CG, but that's pretty good CG compared to all the other shit that's in this movie, and it stands out in like an almost bad way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my big takeaway this week, is it's getting more and more dog shit to watch the CG in this movie.
Yeah, and like you said, most of it's just like the shots with like Jar Jar, like there's a few specific, or Bosnas looks terrible.
I think
Bosnas looks like he's made of rubber.
I think Boss Nass is characterized enough and doesn't move enough for it not to be that bad, but
when he moves, he waddles.
Is the issue. Yeah.
He legit like waddles away.
I also know there's when they're going down to Autogunga, when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan meet that like little landing before you walk into the bubble. I noticed this watch through that they both hit the ground and then somebody dragged them without having the actors actually stand up and walk. Just kind of dragged them across the screen to get them inside without having much movement from the actors. And they tried to block this out by having a fish swim past them, but the fish is not there long enough for it not to be noticed, and it goes on a little too long.
God. It's like the negative version of In A New Hope when they have the giant fucking dinosaur thing walk in front of frame for no reason for like a solid minute.
Well, here I understand because it's trying to block out bad.
No, I know, editing. But like in my example, it's there for no reason and it takes up too much time. In this example, there was a solid reason to do that and it doesn't do the job.
I also think I'm slowly being indoctrinated by these movies because we're watching them so much. Because for the first fucking time ever, and God, I hope the last, I laughed at Qui-Gon saying, "You must have Jedi reflexes," and then Jar Jar doing the tongue. Because of him catching it in his hand. I've never laughed at that in my fucking life, even when I was a kid. And this time I laughed, and I'm worried.
I feel an emotional resonance with Qui-Gon's utter disgust with everything that is Jar Jar Binks.
Qui-Gon, and it's funny because George had to have never expected the backlash this movie was going to get. Not that it didn't get like a ton of backlash, but like there was plenty of bits of it that did. Jar Jar specifically, which again is not talked about enough how fucked up that all is. We talk about the situation with the actress that plays Rose. Very similar situation for poor Ahmed Best with Phantom Menace. He got like fucking death threats for people being like, "Oh, you ruined my childhood," which fucking come the fuck on.
Yeah, he's a fucking actor. Like, give the dude a break.
Look, we'd sit here and bitch about Jar Jar all day. There's a couple of things that aren't great, but like, it's not the goddamn end of the world. It's fun to make fun of, but it's not. Yeah.
I don't want to sound like I'm justifying it, but like I could like Jar Jar, I understand the upset around, because as a character, Jar Jar is just genuinely annoying, and I'm not saying anything about the actor. I'm saying the character itself. I still don't understand why Rose got such a similar backlash.
Yeah. It is harder to explain, but no, absolutely don't fucking blame actors for the roles they play in fucking blockbuster films, you weirdos.
Yeah, like, look, Jar Jar sucks. The character sucks. But goddamn, if Ahmed Best didn't do, no pun intended, his absolute best with what he was given.
Yeah.
I mean, he did the fucking voice acting, he did the motion capture with that horrible fucking head visor thing. I mean, he fucking fully embraced it, like,
yeah.
You gotta give him that. Come on. Like, if anything, you should be able to look at Ahmed Best and be like, man, you gave your all to this horrible character, but man, good on you for that. Yeah, no, it's not like my original point. It is funny in retrospect watching Qui-Gon just have nothing but disdain for everything. It's almost like he, along with the audience, does not want to be there and does not want to be experiencing any of what's happening.
Oh my god.
On a similar note, I think it's very exemplary of how Anakin and Obi-Wan get along in Attack of the Clones, that the first thing that Obi-Wan Kenobi says about Anakin Skywalker's existence, other than Midi-Chlorians, who he didn't know who he was measuring yet, is, why do I get the feeling we're picking up yet another pathetic life form?
I mentioned that last rotation.
Did you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, because that's one of my favorite lines, because right on the outset, Obi-Wan's like, I can't.
A lot of people want to murder this child.
I mean, are we talking about actors again? What they do to the kid?
No. Twice, not including battle droids. Twice in this movie, 2 full-grown adults tried to kill this child. The first being Sebulba putting a bomb in his pod racer, and the second being Darth Maul trying to run Anakin Skywalker over with his speeder, just because I guess he was in the way.
I mean, to be fair, and this doesn't make it any better, Sebulba seems to have a history of failed assassination attempts on a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
There's that fucking moment with Maul is probably my favorite moment of this movie, just because it is the most like, I talk about the sand skiff scene in Return of the Jedi with Luke wielding the glowing baseball bat, but that really is the most like, you know what, fuck all this laser sword and magic bullshit, I'm gonna run this fucking kid over. It's like...
Can you imagine the conversation that would have happened if he had successfully run that child over when he got back? My master, I did not stop Qui-Gon Jinn, but I murdered a child.
Did you bring the child? You what?
What was the child? I I think he was some sort of slave on Tatooine. You did what? No, you've royally fucked me, Lord Maul. You have no idea how much you fucked me, Lord Maul.
Qui-Gon kept saying something about Midi-Chlorians.
Well, fuck that shit. I had the fate of the universe planned on this child, Lord Maul, and you fucked me.
The more and more I watch this movie, not to totally derail this, but I'm about to. The more and more I watch this movie, the more and more I'm convinced that absolutely everyone is in on an inside joke that they're trying to convince Qui-Gon Midi-Chlorians are a thing. Because ever since we talked about this last time, I can't look at the scene where Obi-Wan's analyzing his blood the same way. It's Obi-Wan's
not fucking doing anything.
No, and in my head, Obi-Wan's totally just like, oh yeah, Master, he's got a lot. He's got like 20,000. That's more than Yoda. And Qui-Gon's like, oh, he's the chosen one.
It really is Scientology bullshit. Like,
yeah.
Yes.
I choose to believe that Qui-Gon is like some far-right extremist Jedi that believe that, and the Midi-Chlorians is some like insane fucking conspiracy theory that a small group of far-right Jedi believe in, and the rest of the council's like, oh yeah, sure, Qui-Gon.
When he's talking to Watto, when he's telling Watto he'll trade Anakin's pod racer for Anakin, dick move, by the way. He purposefully wagers both Anakin and his mom, knowing he'll have to then talk him down to just Anakin. Like, he's totally doing that just to, like, get Watto to settle on just Anakin. And later he just goes, oh, well, I tried to free both of you. Like, fuck you, dude.
Which, that doesn't seem like a great trade for Watto.
No.
Like, I'm going to take the young, vibrant child. You keep the older woman.
Yeah. Do you think that die was weighted?
I believe so, because I personally believe so, because Watto's utter disgust when it lands on Blue.
Yeah, I really think it was weighted based on just how that entire scene plays out. He's like, what? This can't be right.
I have a conspiracy involving this. I believe this entire movie is people letting Qui-Gon think that he's really good at things when he's really not.
Is that a conspiracy? Because it just seems like that's the way everything happens.
I mean like, so they go to Auto Gunga, and they're talking to Bosnas, and Qui-Gon uses what appears to be a Jedi mind trick on Bosnas, and Bosnas gives him way more information than he would have asked for with a Jedi mind trick. I don't believe that's legit. So
it looks like he's using the Jedi mind trick, but there's like no proof that it worked.
That's what I'm saying. I believe Bosnas played along just to, one, get rid of the Jedi, and two, make them think that they were taking Jar Jar off his hands when he really wanted Jar Jar as far away from the city as physically possible.
The galaxy is humoring Qui-Gon Jinn's ego.
Which is why they send them through the planet core with all the monsters in there, because he's just like, oh, they're not going to make it back.
Which is why it makes it even funnier that he gets just fucking murdered by Maul, because you got fucking Qui-Gon no shoulders going into this fucking duel like, oh, I'm a great Jedi, and then fucking Obi-Wan's like, no, Master, you're bad at things, come back, and then he gets fucking stabbed.
Hold on. Qui-Gon no shoulders.
I feel like that can't be the first time I've called him that on this podcast.
I think
no, you called him it last rotation, but it was way less. Yeah, because we were talking about his accident, I think.
Holy shit.
Like, I can only picture that's like there should have been a fucking deleted scene where he's like, you know, kneeling down, he's meditating as the doors are The energy shields are up, and Obi-Wan's pacing. It's him like on like an earpiece back to like the Jedi Council. And he's like, Master Windu, Qui-Gon's fighting the Sith Lord. Qui-Gon, he's not good at lightsaber dueling. I know. The man can't move his arms past his head.
Oh my god. No. It was a conspiracy to get Obi-Wan to train Anakin. Qui-Gon's like, now, Obi-Wan, you know they're not going to let me do this. So I'm going to fight Maul.
They're not going to let me do this, so guess I'll just die.
So
I mean, the worst
you'll
part
have
is...
to guilt Yoda that it's my dying wish.
The worst part is the movie says that happens in the Force works in a mysterious ways bullshit because everything happens for a reason. It's like...
Also, Qui-Gon is totally like just Jesus take the wheel with the will of the Force. He's like, Jar Jar's freaking out. Oh my god, there's sea monsters coming to eat us. We're all gonna die. The Force is gonna do whatever it was.
Here's a Vulcan death grip. Calm down. Remember first rotation when we were grilling me about the Chancellor of Valorum conspiracy, and now we have a conspiracy where Qui-Gon Jinn is just being humored into being a good Jedi by literally everyone in the galaxy, and we're not even contending it, like literally at all. We've come very far in the right direction.
All I'm hearing is my Qui-Gon conspiracy holds more water if that is consistent.
It makes me so happy because like the one piece of criticism we've really gotten has been like, you guys should put some more allegedlys in your assumptions of things or people's decision making.
Allegedly, we need more allegedlys.
And now here we are.
It's come full circle.
We've made a fucking art form out of. Well, now I think all the Jedi hate Qui-Gon. And
I mean, to be fair, Obi-Wan pretty much straight up tells him that.
Yeah.
He goes into this fight like, fucking Midi-Chlorians take the wheel, whatever.
Maybe that's why in episode 3 Obi-Wan has a death wish. He's like, well, that's how Qui-Gon went.
Well, I will say I wrote down that the other reason why I feel like I'm being indoctrinated by this film is because I had the literal thought that, Obi-Wan being like the biggest Yoda dick sucker in the original trilogy makes a lot of sense because the one thing he didn't do to follow Yoda's teachings was train Anakin, and he killed literally everybody he ever knew. So, of course, Obi-Wan decided to, like, forsake all sense of pride and, like, no knowledge of doing good in order to do literally everything Yoda asks.
I need to remember to bring this up again in episode 3. But on that similar note, just because we're here right now, I want to hear the conversation at the end of episode 3 when it's Obi-Wan and Yoda on Bail Organa's ship. Where Yoda's like, yeah, remember when I didn't want you to train that little bastard? Well, look where we are now, you fuck. I hope you know you did this.
Not a very Minch move, Yoda. Or it's a very Minch move. It's a very Minch move. We're talking about Minch here. I
forgot Minch was a thing.
And what about Mace Windu? Like, how did it have to feel to be Mace Windu when Yoda made, like, a massive decision that could impact the entire Jedi Order on his own, away from the Council and his right-hand man? No wonder Mace hated Anakin so much.
Well, I've heard people say that, like, Mace thought he was supposed to be the chosen one.
Mace thought he himself was the chosen one?
Yeah, that's theories I've heard before.
That sounds like Mace.
And that's why he just had such utter disgust for Anakin. So everyone was like, oh, he's the chosen one. And he's like, that motherfucker. That little bitch.
Yeah, I've heard that thrown around a lot. I don't
know how
I feel about that. Like, I don't know how I feel about the idea of that, because, like, if there's a Jedi who is more indoctrinated into the ways of the Jedi's bullshit, like, than Mace Windu, I can't think of them.
But that's I'd argue that's part of it, because he uses Vapad, which is the lightsaber style that taps into the dark side. He's like supposed to be that balance between them, I guess.
Yeah, I think if there's a member of the Jedi Council that sees themselves as untouchable and entirely un-dark-sidable, it's Mace.
Yeah. Even Yoda struggled a bit with dark side emotions at one point.
Yeah, I could see that. See, you've convinced me. You've now convinced me. I can totally see that. I'm all on board for this theory.
And I forget where I originally heard this from. This was like ages ago I heard this, but I that's my headcanon now, because that feels right to me.
The farting trunk camel at the pod race has asshole hair, and it really upset me.
I knew you were gonna fucking do it, because I heard and I was like, you fucking bastard.
I'm deeply upset.
Josh, there's these things. They're called transitions or segues.
I don't know what that is.
I know you don't.
It's my favorite thing to do on the podcast, just to abruptly change subjects.
Well, yeah, but that's what I do. But at least I yell profanities first.
You do. You really do.
You know things are about to go batshit when you just hear Ben go, okay, so fucking camel ass hair.
I also noticed this rotation that there are houses in the mountain, embedded in the mountain, the Boonta Eve Classic, and that's got to be a really bad day of the year for the people living there.
Oh, that reminds me. I have a correction for myself.
Okay.
When we recorded, I want to say it was the last time we did episode 4, I talked about how Obi-Wan says these blast points are too accurate for sand people. And I said that was fucking stupid because they use slug throwers. They use a mix of slug throwers and blasters, so I was incorrect.
Thank you very much.
So I was the idiot, not Obi-Wan.
No, I don't think we can blame you for confusing two different canon source materials.
Boss Nass's name is actually Rugor Nass.
Why would you shackle me with this information?
What?
I was pulling up Boss Nass's Wikipedia because I had something to say about him, and I totally lost what I was going to say when I saw his name is Rugor. And that tickles me. I don't
know what to do with this information.
Yeah. I will say, another thing that I noticed about the CG in this movie, have you ever watched the Cato Nemodians as they...
Oh, yeah, the Cato Nemodian. Yeah, I watch it every time. They're my...
as
first thing I look for.
As they depart the ship after securing Naboo, their feet do not touch any sort of ground. They're just kind of floating there because they didn't... Because the CGI... and the actual filmed environment are not properly synced up.
God,
their feet are 2 inches off the ground and just kind of floating there.
Their Midi-Chlorian count must be off the charts.
Even higher than Master Minch's.
Thank God.
God, fucking Minch.
This really isn't the rotation where we reclaim our dignity, is it?
No, it's not.
Was that a thing we were trying to do?
No, absolutely not.
Oh my God.
You know, when I was a little kid, for some reason, because of the holo communication, I thought that Darth Maul's name was Garth Maul, and that was
Garth.
Some kind of under Darth apprentice name. Stupid.
No, I'm just picturing goddamn Garth from Wayne's World. Garth from Wayne's World, but he's in Zabrak.
Oh, I was 100% picturing Garth Brooks. I'm just picturing Maul running back and forth across the stage, drenched in sweat like a fucking maniac. with one of those dumbass 2-panel fucking countryman shirts.
Oh my god. What have we done? What have we brought into this world?
Oh, God.
This is existence, boys. Thrilling, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's great about this movie is the Duel of the Fates never gets old.
No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
The performance that who's the guy who plays Maul? I'm terrible at actor names. Ray Park.
Love Ray Park.
And Ewan McGregor put in at that final leg of that duel is phenomenal, no matter how many times I see it. And of course, the whole duel is great. I don't want to sound like I'm just don't forget about old nose shoulders over there.
Yeah, he performed admirably.
The shoulderless wonder.
One of the cool things about that entire duel is that it kind of almost serves as a primer for how, in this era, Jedi and Sith operate. It almost, even more effectively than like the Code of the Jedi and the Code of the Sith, the entire structure of this duel explains what the Jedi and what the Sith are, and what happens if you cross from one to another for a moment, and what it takes to come back. It's really very thematically appropriate, like, and as an introduction to the mindset of the prequels and of Jedi and a Sith as orders, which is appropriate because the rest of this movie feels like it's on a fucking island separate from literally anything else in the entire saga.
One thing that kind of hit me this watch through, and this is going back to Duel of the Fates, is I started to wonder what would happen if Obi-Wan fully fell during that duel. Because you could see he very much caves to his anger and his dark emotions. And my fan theory wheels started to go, and I was like, what if Obi-Wan actually fucking pulled the guy, Count Dooku.
The guy Count Dooku, Ben? The guy Count Dooku, Ben?
Yeah, it's Count Dooku, but he's got the flame shirt and the goatee.
Are you
Guy
comparing
Dooku.
Guy Fieri
Guy Dooku.
All right, end the podcast. End the podcast. It's over. It's been a good run. Third rotation's where it dies. How the fuck did we get to Guy Fieri?
You're the only one not drinking. How did you do this?
No, because I said the guy, because I couldn't think of Count Dooku, and then Count Dooku hit me right after I said the guy.
You yelled at me for not remembering Tarful's name.
Don't do this to me, Josh. I'm vulnerable right now.
I'm just picturing fucking Dooku bursting through a wall like, all right, Obi-Wan, I'm going to take you to Flavor Town. This is... Oh, God.
This is a dumb podcast for idiots.
Fucking stupid.
Hey.
Oh, my God.
I can't even. I was gonna say something defensive, but I'm drawing a blank.
Speaking of Midi-Chlorians, let's pretend that they're a real thing. Yeah, I know. Let's pretend they're a real
Speaking
thing.
Of this thing we were talking about half an hour ago.
Let's pretend that they're a real thing and not this weird imaginative bullshit that Qui-Gon came up with. Why would... Doesn't it feel like that's something that would be protected by medical records and not just Googleable by literally every member of the Jedi Order?
Well, I feel like... Well, no, you're right. I was gonna say I feel like Obi-Wan has access to a database, but he's not on his ship.
Well, I feel
he's on the fucking the princess's ship or the queen's ship.
I feel like not everyone.
Nubian, that's what the ship was.
I feel like not every single Jedi's Midi-Chlorian count is known, but someone like Yoda, who clearly has the top. That's something people in the young Padawans would talk about, like, that would spread around. So I'm sure, like, someone like Yoda, that's, like, I don't think...
everyone be gossiping over how many midichlorians Yoda's got.
Yeah, I don't think people are like, do you hear how many midichlorians Kit Fisto has? Like, no, I don't...
This podcast has very quietly become Kit Fisto, just like slander.
Yo, Kit Fisto's my favorite.
Kit Fisto rocks.
I like Kit Fisto. I'm just saying, I don't think anyone's pondering over his midichlorian count.
Kit Fisto midichlorian. Star Wars midichlorian list.
Please.
Oh,
no.
Please regale us. No, I seriously want to hear this. Please
Is this a thing? Fucking, please tell me this is fan done, because it makes me really sad when I see things like this.
Anakin Skywalker, 27,800. Darth Vader, 26,830.
What is...
After the loss of his hand, 17,200.
Why did he burn it? Make him lose?
He lost all the midichlorians that were in his hand.
I'm gonna pass out.
Oh, I love this.
What the fuck is Minch's midichlorian count?
Well, no, wait, hold on. We could do some weird fucking math with this and figure out how many midichlorians are in each part of the body if we do, like, some division.
No! Stop!
We do how many
Stop! I'm pulling the plug.
We're in that hand.
No, this is the rest of the podcast now.
Minch had 17,300.
He has more... He has more than 10. He has 10,000 more.
Right, why? But the most important question: how many midichlorians does Kit Fisto have?
I will say, Minch has more midichlorians. Or no, Minch has 100 more midichlorians than Darth Vader after the loss of his hand.
Okay, I need. This is the thing that's bothering the shit out of me right now. Why does Anakin at 10 years old have the same amount of midichlorians that adult Anakin Skywalker has, but when he loses a hand, why does growing from, like...
Han Solo had 6,500.
What?
This can't be canon. This has got to be an elaborate shit.
It's a forum post.
Okay, it's got to be bullshit.
So it's probably wild speculation, but it is headcanon for me now. I don't care. I'm going to use this as gospel.
But how many midichlorians does Kit Fisto have?
That's what I'm looking. It's like half alphabetical, half not. 13,000.
Wow, he barely has more than fucking literal not Force user, never implied to be a Force user Han Solo. That's rough.
Darth Maul, 13,600.
Well, isn't...
But
how much did he lose when he got cut in half?
But 11,300 after his incident with Obi-Wan.
What is this measurement?
You're telling me... Hold on.
And he went... Wait. It gets better. 14,000 after he got upgraded by Mother Townsend.
Where did... So his legs had midichlorians?
Okay, so... I've been playing a little bit of the Old Republic the last few weeks because I'm a fucking insane person. And in that, it is implied that certain Jedi Masters over the years believed that droids were capable of getting the ability to use the Force. But, like, are droid legs?
Well, so...
Well, he gets his actual legs back, yeah, but...
Qui-Gon does say, the midichlorians live within everything. Like, all living things. So, like, does a higher number just mean that, like, suddenly you can use the Force?
Essentially, midichlorians are your potential to use the Force, not exactly your raw strength with the Force, if that makes sense.
Remember the first...
None of this makes sense, Ben! No! What do you mean if that makes sense?
No, like, midichlorians are your potential ability to channel the Force.
Sure.
they don't exactly necessarily
How many
correlate
midichlorians
to
were in
your
Qui-Gon's
ability.
shoulders?
Before or after the accident?
Fuck me sideways. What the fuck has been the last fucking 8 minutes of this podcast?
But oh god, I had another midichlorian question. I just got really lightheaded.
Now it's time to ask.
Oh god, no, I wanted to know someone's
Padme had
midichlorian.
midichlorians.
What? Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. Never mind.
Can you did Anakin transmit some to her? I guess is my question.
No, I was trying not to go there.
Nope, pulling the plug. Nope, we're done.
Oh my god. Wait, what about Yaddle?
What is Yaddle?
Yaddle is on here. 15,600.
What about Baby Yoda?
I don't believe they're on here.
Well, of course.
Fucking lightheaded.
Darth Vitiate, it just says 20,000 plus.
What?
He got the midichlorian expansion, I guess.
And that midichlorian DLC.
He codes in midichlorian plus.
Well, that's it. That's the episode title.
Midichlorians plus.
No, midichlorian DLC.
Midichlorian DLC.
Oh my god.
So Rey and Kylo were a dyad in the Force, but Rey had more midichlorians than Kylo? I don't know how that works. I'm not gonna make a ruling on that one. So
this fucking forum post has Rey's midichlorian count.
Yeah, 27,800.
This isn't canon. There's no fucking way.
I'm trying to find this guy's sources, but he doesn't have it.
Do you think?
Oh,
Disney
surprise! This guy has no sources. Fucking! I can't believe this trusted person has no sources.
Oh wait.
Do you want to mention his username so that we can completely get rid of any integrity we have?
Wait. In the comments, there's another list.
Fuck off! What list now?
It's got. Oh, it's what the fuck? I don't know. Is this a different user? Sith Emperor Big Dick. No, this is a different user.
What?
According to.
I can't.
Why? Okay.
Wait. According to Sith Emperor Big Dick.
Well, that could be the podcast name too.
Sith Emperor Vitiate had 20,500 midichlorians per cell. Which these are all per cell.
This segment fucking sucks.
I'm gonna reference this whenever. I'm gonna save this page, and anytime we bring up a Force user, I'm gonna be like, oh yes, they had 7,000 midichlorians.
We're getting these random fucking forum users way too much of an advertisement, even for our meager audience.
I will give Sith Emperor Big Dick an advertisement just for his name alone.
Oh my god.
I think it's time to turn to yours, our friend Rick McCallum.
Oh.
Grand Sith Emperor Big Dick himself.
So Rick McCallum is indeed in this film. He and Ben Burt can be seen behind Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker when Palpatine meets with them. As senators in the background. Assumedly senators? I think senators. And in the documentary they did on extras in Attack of the Clones, Rick McCallum uses himself as an example of how to be an extra, sarcastically, of course, because, of course, he respected extras. But this is Ben Burt's second appearance as an extra, too. The first being, as I mentioned on the podcast, him being knocked over the reactor with one of the most amazing high-pitched Wilhelm screams I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my god.
I think it's just my role now to point out when people who worked on Star Wars end up having cameos.
I need to not look at this tab.
But how many Midi-Chlorians does Rick McCallum have?
All of them.
What about Palpatine? Tell me Palpatine's...
I just found a comment that says, I love how after 14 months, there's still people finding this just to tell me how wrong I am. Darth Sidious had 21,500.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This forum post is my gospel now. I'm saving this to my bookmarks.
I'd really prefer you didn't.
It's already done. You sealed your fate when you told me not to.
Why did Qui-Gon think the cockpit of a Naboo starfighter was a safe place for Anakin to hide?
Why did Qui-Gon think Anakin was going to stay in the docking bay?
I mean, to be fair, I never would have fucking expected him to know how to fly a starfighter either.
He expected and saw that child win a pod race.
That's fair. Hey, why did everybody just gloss over the fact that a 10-year-old child said he built the greatest pod racer of all time?
And why did we let him race it?
I mean, yeah, but also they just took that as a given. Him racing it was kind of a debate. They just took that as a given.
Also, so like, Anakin's been working on this pod racer, and Watto somehow doesn't know?
Yeah, it's a little weird that, especially since his apartment is adjoined to the desert itself, nobody has run past this, like on a fucking jog or something, and said, "Oh, pod racer behind Anakin's house."
Oh God, we're at this point. We're at this point, lads. We're
much like Ben. The only time Qui-Gon seems to be enjoying himself throughout this entire movie is watching the pod race, and that's hilarious in the context with which we've saddled Qui-Gon Jinn's character with, because to me, I can only think he's watching in Glee like this fucking kid might die.
Well, Chris, you figured me out. I'm Cokehead Space Uncle. Chris, I am your Cokehead Space Uncle.
Oh, God. So... Does anybody think vulture droids are extremely cool to be not as used as they are in this trilogy?
I love the design of vulture droids.
They're so fucking cool. That Quetzalcoatl type fucking thing where they can move around on their legs. It's cool.
Droid starfighters just in general I love. Like the what are they, tri-droids? The interceptor style ship.
Yeah, those are cool too.
They're badass. But I also just love interceptor type ships, so come at me.
That is a needlessly aggressive way to defend your like of the droid starfighter.
It's only because we brought this up, and we might have to cut this, but, possible spoilers, just heads up. I'm not going to actually say anything. But the fact that I just opened up my Twitter and fucking Yaddle is trending is not something I ever expected
Josh,
in my entire life.
This is something, Josh, you'll learn about this when you're older.
Yeah, it's just... That really just
Chris
tied a
is
nice bow on this
contractually obliged not to say anymore.
Yeah, that just tied a nice bow on this podcast this night for me.
It is.
Well, you know why?
November...
It's because her Midi-Chlorian count is 15,600.
So it is November 27th, 2020 right now. A certain Mandalorian episode just went up. Future people already know what it came up as. I'm already spoiled, basically, because of Twitter. I'm not spoiled to what the fuck you're talking about, that's for sure. I refuse to believe that Yaddle appears in The Mandalorian.
It's Baby Yoda's actually Yaddle in disguise.
Stop.
Is this the Star Wars holiday special? Did Yaddle fucking time travel?
Yaddle's actually a Time Lord. Funny story.
Oh, the Doctor Who crossover we've always been talking about.
The next Doctor.
Yaddle is the next Doctor.
Yeah.
Why do you giving such good title names?
She's also been seen around town with R2-D2 lately. They're not social distancing. It's really fucked up. I don't know.
Yeah. Nope. I had a joke. I'm not gonna.
He has a child now. That child is like 18. How dare he?
You're making it very hard for me not to say this joke.
Oh God.
What the fuck? This is our lives.
Well. Oh God.
Yeah, this has been Star Wars every week forever. See you next time.
Nah. We're not ending here. We gotta go deeper. We gotta go
now.
Deeper.
Hold on.
We are on episode 1, and I've only mentioned pod racing twice. This is a crime.
This has been Star Wars every week forever. Good night.
Is that the most unhinged episode we've ever done?
Yes, that is the most surreal episode we've ever had. Hey everyone, it's Ben. I am recommending things once again. And due to recent episodes of a show we brought up, I am recommending Star Wars Dark Forces, because fucking Kyle Katarn is the love of my life, and it's a solid Doom clone style game that I adore and I play constantly because I have nothing better to do with my life. Enjoy. Take care.
I do appreciate that you forgot the name of the love of your life on this podcast.
What? No, I couldn't remember the name of the game.
No. There was the episode where we talked about
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Who's Tarful, Ben? But who's Tarful?
And we're out.
Ben left chat.
Hello, all you beautiful people, and thank you very much for joining us on yet another week of Star Wars Every Week Forever. We upload every Wednesday around noon on various platforms, including YouTube, Spotify, TuneIn, and many others. If you have any friends, companions, people you would like to torture with our presence, feel free to send them our way. You know where to find us. If you would like to interact with the show and the various co-hosts, being me, Josh, and Chris, you can find us quite easily on Twitter at SWEWF. We check there very regularly, so it's easy to get a hold of us. And I hope all of you wonderful people have a glorious rest of your day. Until next we meet, may the Force be with you.